September.
Yeah, this is a reading of Mehera-Meher, page 225, volume 3. Oh, the end of 224, pardon me. On 16 September, Baba told Kenmore, now I will take you to Mehera. Take your tape recorder with you and play for her what you taped of Francis yesterday. Mehera will be pleased to hear it. Harry played the tape for Mehera and thus had the opportunity of meeting her again. After Mehera left the room, the Mandali came inside to listen to music. Kenmore was also permitted to treat Baba chiropractically inside Mandali Hall. On the 17th, Mehera and the other women were called into the hall while the Mandali went out to observe Harry's technique. Mehera complimented Harry on his treatment. Baba told Kenmore, "You don't know how fortunate you are that Mehera is here observing you work and that she talked with you." On 19 September, Baba declared, "The next 40 days will be the most important period of my avataric period. The present work is of unparalleled magnitude, with more than you can ever dream of in the balance." Baba had entered a quote-unquote crucial period of his universal work and wished to remain undisturbed during this period. He fasted, worked with Kaikobad and the poor, and stopped all correspondence. Because of his work, the women were not to tell Baba anything new. They were therefore reluctant to inform him that on 20 September, Budi died at 2:45 a.m. Kaka too did not disturb Baba with the news, but when Mehera informed Baba, he himself went to the men's side for the burial. Budi did her job so well of guarding Meherazad that she will take a human form, Baba revealed. A typical day in Baba's routine, 24 September, for example, found Baba working with Kaikobad in Kaikobad's room at 8:15 a.m. A half hour later, Baba went to the hall where he stayed with the men until 10:30, listening to urgent correspondence, parentheses, sent despite the ban, close parentheses. Kaikobad's room was the room off the veranda next to Mandali Hall. Baba then bowed his head on the feet of a poor person and handed him 2 rupees. Kenmore recited the prayers, and Baba touched his head at Baidul's feet. Then Francis read out a portion of Stay with God before Baba rose to leave. As Baba was leaving the hall, he remarked to Harry, "Now I am going to be crucified. Do you know what this crucifixion is? I have to go and take a bath. For you people, bathing is a thing of joy. For me, it is like being crucified." Everyone enjoyed Baba's humor. On 30 September, Baba's brother Behram's family arrived at Meherazad. His daughter, Gulnar, was to be married shortly to Jahangu Sukadwala. Baba had approved the match and lovingly greeted all. One day in 1959, in his bedroom, Baba remembered Mehera's uncle, Colonel Irani. Knowing how much Mehera had wanted her uncle to accept Baba as the avatar, Baba had already told her that the colonel had acknowledged him as a great spiritual personality. Now, Baba stated, "Your uncle will come to me soon." Mehera was delighted. She and her mother had faced bitter opposition from her family when they had first joined the ashram. Since the colonel had spent years speaking against Baba and publishing vitriolic, derogatory pamphlets. This was a miracle. I was so happy, Mehera remembered. Colonel Irani will come to Baba. All Pune will be surprised, she told Baba. The Parsis and Iranis, who have opposed you for so long, will see that Colonel Irani himself has come to you. They will see that even your staunchest enemy has come to take your darshan. It's wonderful news. However, the following year, Mehera heard that her uncle, Colonel Irani, had died. It appears that Baba had meant that the colonel would come to him in his next form. Colonel Irani never did meet Mehera Baba. He had come to Mehrabad in the early days to persuade his sister Daulat Mai to leave Baba, but he did not see Baba then or at any other time. Yet, although Colonel Irani maintained his opposition to Baba until the end, Baba always spoke kindly about him, saying he was doing his work. His soul has a connection with me, he once told Mehera. So the next time when he is born, he will be my lover. 4 or 5 years later, when the topic happened to come up, Baba revealed that Mehera's uncle had taken birth in a good family, one that was devoted to him. Mehera could not have been happier. Not only was the colonel born into a nice family, but he would be a Baba lover as well. A few years after this, in 1967, when they were again at Guru Prasad, Mani was free one morning while Mehera was attending to Baba. Jahangu Sukadwala came for a visit. He had married Mani's niece, Gulnar, by now, and their son, Merwan, was 2.5 years old. Jahangu told Mani a puzzling thing that had happened. Merwan had announced that he was a colonel.
Wow.
Jahangu said that this was a mystery, since neither he nor Gulnar had ever used that word in front of the child. When Mani came into the drawing room later, Baba was washing his face in the corner, and Mehera and Gohar were with him. Excitedly, Mani repeated to Baba what Jahangu had told her about little Merwan. It must be the same soul as my uncle, Colonel Irani, Mehera declared. Baba did not say yes or no, but Mehera saw him smile, which, for her, confirmed it. The others were far away. Baba looked at me, smiled slightly, and gave a little nod. Then I knew. The story does not end there. Sometime after this, Parin, Baram's wife, Gulnar's mother, asked whether she, Jahangu, Gulnar, and their 2 children could bring a picnic basket to Guru Prasad at 5:30 p.m. after Baba had retired to his room. They would visit with the women who would be free at that time. Baba gave permission, and they came with the food. The women joined them and enjoyed a picnic outside on the grounds near a lime orchard, where it was cool and lovely in the evening. Afterwards, they came inside, and the women were saying goodbye in the drawing room. I'll come back to that note in a moment, when a message came from Baba. Okay, hold that thought. a message coming from Baba. And the asterisk, which referred to a sentence way at the top of the page, said, Colonel Irani passed away in Pune on 10 January 1960 at the age of 82. Baba may have sent Padri, the colonel's nephew, to see him a few months before he died. Padri's brother, Homi, who was close to the colonel, arranged the funeral, though Padri pointed out that Homi was not even mentioned in the colonel's will. One thing that always puzzled Padri was that although Colonel Irani was a staunchly Orthodox Zoroastrian, he had instructed Homi to take his body to Bombay for cremation and not to the local Tower of Silence, as is customary. As stated, Mehera was under the mistaken notion, given to her by Baba, that Colonel Irani accepted Baba in the final days of his life, and even declared that Baba was a Mahapurush, a saint. According to Padri, the colonel did not accept Baba, even at the end. Bao called Gohar aside and said, Baba wants Mehera to bring Merwan to him alone, without his parents. This was most unusual, as Baba rarely called anyone. Once he retired to his room, and never Mehera. The boy was extremely shy. He would not let go of his mother's hand. The child is not used to me, Mehera told Mani, the boy's aunt. He is not so used to Baba also. Will he come alone, without his mother? Mehera took him by the hand and said gently, Come, Merwan. You're going to meet Baba. Let's go. Don't be shy. Baba's calling us. We have to go to Baba. Come on. I said all nice things and pulled him along to Baba's room. Baba was seated on a chair. The child was afraid. Baba put his hand round his neck, patted his cheeks, and cuddled him. He was so shy. I said, See, Baba loves you. Nobody was there, and I was new to him. Baba was new to him, and he was frightened. Then Baba sent us out. Later, the thought came to me that Baba had said, Colonel Irani will come to me, so Baba had called him. He did come to Baba alone to his bedroom, and I had to take him there. Baba's words came true. Colonel Irani did come to Baba. A lovely picture of Baba kissing Booty.
What a story that is.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So that's with Booty in 55, 56.
So Colonel Irani would be like in
Um,
his 60s now. So I wonder if he's still alive.
Hmm.
I mean, not Colonel Irani. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Merwan.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Because Gunnar is still alive, and Django, his parents are still alive.
Rosalie met him, by the way.
Yeah, he would be 65 years old.
Rosalie met the other Merwan. Merwan met who is Norina Machabeli.
No, she said she met the former Colonel Irani, too.
Yeah, I remember her saying that.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I know that she met this Merwan Mehta. She met him a couple of times.
Wow.
Well, we'll have
That
to.
is amazing, isn't it? It's just like you know, you try to interpret Baba's words and you just never know.
Yeah,
But
the magic man. Yeah,
Baba said, if you remember me when you're breathing your last, you come to me. So he
yeah,
remembered
yeah.
him.
And Keller, when he was, yeah, he was japping him all the time. Like he was remembering Baba all the time,
And on
out
his
of place.
deathbed, he was probably saying, "That damn Baba."
Yeah, right, right.
I remember years ago when I
That's how
read the
him.
Mahabharata, that there was a little, you know, it has all these little stories in it, side stories, and there was this
Yeah,
person who lived out in the jungle, and every day he would go to some perfect master's um, tomb and just like bang on it and just like say bad things to him, and all. It's just like he wasn't worshiping him,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
because he remembered him so much, even though it was angrily, he did, I don't know, got God
yeah,
realization or something, something good.
yeah. That is also why Baba said about love and its gradations. And he says that hate is also a gradation of love, but it can be so intensified that it can do this thing that you're talking about, and that happened to Colonel Irani. And he gives the example of the tiger that wants to eat the deer, right? So he wants to hunt the deer down. So you can imagine in your mind's eye how the tiger is there trying to pounce on the deer in the right time, and it keeps itself so focused on the deer. And Baba says this is a kind of love. He says that the tiger loves the prey. All his focus is on him, and he says it's very much like in the focus that God wants us to have on him, and why he wants us to say his name. And that's why Colonel Irani, by saying bad things about Baba all the time and thinking about him all the time, he's doing the same like the tiger, trying to focus on the deer to eat him.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And the tiger is very hungry also. So yeah, and also Colonel Irani told so many people, through him, so many people found out about
Yeah,
Baba.
right. Yeah, true.
Well, that's
So the
such
other way
a
around goes. That's what?
yeah. It's an incredible
Yeah.
story. Yeah.
Hey, Deb,
Yes.
how about a reading for a while?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna read off the screen. Hopefully I can do that okay. Because the book I noticed is pretty different. Oh, I like the title of this, A Special Tree and Flower, chapter 129. Baba's health continued to suffer during his seclusion work at Marazad in 1959. In August, Baba had instructed Mehra to pray at Babajan's tomb that he might break his silence by the end of October, and it almost happened. The night of 8 October had been so dreadful, Baba remarked, that he was almost forced to break his silence. Pendu, who was on watch, described how concerned Baba was that his suffering not be heard by Mehra and the other women Mandali, whose bedroom was nearby, lest they worry. I have never passed such a terrible and difficult night, Baba stated. 2 nights later, Baba was again in pain. This time, Bao was on watch. And Baba told him to leave and call the women Mandali to his room for some time, which he almost never did. No one can understand my present condition, Baba said. To ease the strain of his work, after sitting in seclusion, Baba relaxed by listening to a funny story or joke. He gestured as if lifting something off his head that it relieved the weight of his universal work. Sometimes Mani read to him for 1 or 2 hours in the afternoon. Since returning from Guru Prasad, they had read several Rex Stout books, a P.G. Wodehouse, and an Edgar Wallace, finishing 1 and at times 2 books a month. During November 1959, they read Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen and then started, don't see any more words, and then started a murder mystery. I need to read the sidebar. Can we go? Okay. Ironically, the title of the Narrow Wolf book that was read to Baba in August 1959 was The Silent Speaker. Baba had it read again in 1964 and 1967. Okay, where were we here? Harry Kenmore and Harry Dido Chow were not the only Westerners to visit Baba at Mehera during this period. Joanna Smith of New York had met Baba in Myrtle Beach the year before. She was traveling in India, and Baba permitted her to come to Mehera on 21 November. Joanna was in her 50s, a large matronly woman with a German or Dutch accent. Baba met her in the hall and later took her around the garden with 2 or 3 of the Mandali. On their stroll, they walked around the house towards Mehera's bedroom. Baba showed Joanna the surrounding hills and pointed out Seclusion Hill. Then he turned and came near to Mehera's room. An umar tree grows outside Mehera's window. Baba patted its trunk and remarked, "I like this tree." Sidebar, the umar tree is a member of the wild fig family. Mehera happened to be watching from far inside her room by the doorway. "I was curious, but I didn't want to go right up to the window," she said. "Baba wouldn't have liked that." I peeked from the door, and that moment I managed to see Baba tap the tree trunk and gesture, "I like this tree." Need more words? He then continued walking in the garden. Though Joanna was not taken to meet Mehera, Mehera never forgot her visit and Baba's seemingly casual remark about the tree. She wondered why Baba liked that particular tree, since it was bare then. And the sidebar says, Hindus consider the umar tree holy, as they believe that Dattatri, a 3-headed incarnation of Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, or Shiva, had his seat under such a tree. She guessed it was because the tree gave plenty of shade. 10 years would have to pass before Mehera found out the real reason for Baba's comment. And by the way, I think right where Baba patted the trunk of the tree is where his face appeared. Somewhere I read that. Maybe I heard it when I was in India. On 28. What's that?
It makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, I love the image of Baba placing his hand on the tree trunk, and then 10 years later, his face was revealed on the tree trunk. On 28 November, Baba said he would complete his work of 40 days in 28 days. This important special work was completed on 24 December, Mehera's birthday that year, according to the Zoroastrian calendar. Lovers from Ahmednagar were invited to sing bhajans in the Mandali Hall. The same day, Baba bathed the feet of 24 lepers. It was the 24th of December. I think I need to read the sidebar right now. The American president, Eisenhower, happened to be in India at this time from 9 to 14 December on an official state visit. Two more Western lovers. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Do either of you know?
I would
UL.
think
UL.
Alain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just how it looks.
Alain and Don Stevens came for some weeks at this time. Although they did not meet Mehera, one day Alain walked with Baba to the end of the Mondley Hall and stood in the garden. These are some of the beautiful These are some of the beautiful flowers in my garden, Baba remarked, as he gestured towards a flower bed. Just then, as Mehera walked across the veranda, Baba glanced in her direction and added, "And that is the most beautiful flower." Khorshid stayed at Mehrazad for 6 days from 23 January 1960. Audie Sr., her first cousin, was sent to pick her up at the bus station. Among all the women Mandali, Khorshid had an especially close relationship with Mehera. They had been friends for 36 years after all. Whenever Khorshid visited, Goher allowed her to sit in her chair next to Mehera at the dining table, since Khorshid was staying only briefly. I was not jealous of Mehera, Khorshid asserted, whereas others sometimes were, because Baba always paid more attention to Mehera. Once while I was there, something happened. Some of the women had not listened to or not done something small, which Mehera wished. Baba called everyone and said, "I like Khorshid because she is not jealous of Mehera. She is helpful to her in every way. That is why I love her, for that reason alone. I loved Mehera, and whatever she wanted, I would do. I gave importance to Mehera's wishes always, whereas others, such as Mani, tried to convince Mehera to want what they wanted." That's interesting. Mani said things like, "No, Mehera, it would be better this way." While there may have been some jealousy in the very early years, no one in Mehrazad was jealous of Mehera, Meru stated emphatically. We all loved Mehera, but each had their own work to do. Khorshid, a visitor, could spend that much more time with Mehera for the few days she was with us. Since Baba knew that Mehera did not like to sew, he instructed Khorshid to do any sewing Mehera had. Each time Khorshid visited, she asked Mehera whether she had anything she wanted stitched. Mehera appreciated this. She did not know it was Baba's instruction. During our 9 months a year at Mehrazad, Mehera said, I would stitch one blouse for myself. If I want to do it, I can, but it takes a lot of concentration. I don't like machinery. I'm going to take a little break, but I can sew. I can sew now. I mean, you can read later.
Awesome. Go ahead, Mikal Namo.
Okay. Oh, wait 1 moment. I don't even like to touch a sewing machine or needle and thread. I don't like anything mechanical. I just like nature. I like sewing.
Me too.
Khorshid, yeah, I like. Khorshid sewed Mehera a blouse. After she finished, she gave it to Mehera, who liked it, as it was well done. I felt so happy, Mehera remembered. I said in my mind I must show it to Baba. Next morning, when Baba was washing his face and shaving, I brought the blouse, showed it to him, and told him Khorshid had made it for me. Baba just smiled. Khorshid hadn't told me that Baba had told her to sew it. If she had, I would have told Baba how very sweet it was of him. Mehera regretted that she never got the opportunity to thank Baba for this small gesture of thoughtfulness. On the side note, Khorshid told Mehera only after Baba dropped his body. Baba's birthday was celebrated quietly at Mehera-Zad each year on 25th February. For his birthday, Goer clarified, usually Baba didn't want anyone to come to Mehera-Zad from outside. On that day, as was their normal routine, Mehera entered Baba's room first. In the morning, Mehera was first to go into Baba's room, Goher continued. We all waited outside for just half a minute and then followed inside. Mehera would say, "Come in now." The door would be open, we waiting outside. But on Baba's birthday, the women came to his room before 5 a.m. Baba told them to stand facing him and repeat the name of God, each according to their own preference. For 5 minutes before 5 a.m., Baba would sit on his bed with a warm shawl draped over his shoulder, said Mehera. We did not garland him in bed. Baba was seated while we stood before him, repeating God's name and then saying, Avatar Meher Baba Kiche 7 times. The men Mandali said the same thing, facing Baba's chair in Mandali Hall. Then Baba lay down again. Mehera repeated, on the side note, Mehera repeated, Yezdam. The day before, the servants had decorated the garden and hall with colored buntings and lights. Since there was no electricity at Mehera-Zad, the colored lights were connected using a car battery. Mehera asked Baba whether he would like to see the hall. She gave Baba a fresh sadra to wear and held his soft, warm pink coat as it was chilly outside. Mehera always ensured that Baba was well covered in winter. Holding Mehera's hand, Baba walked to Mandali Hall. When Baba came back to his room, he lay down again. It was still dark and cold. 2 of the women massaged his feet while the other decorated the breakfast table with a cake, greeting cards, telegrams, and flowers. They had been up since 3:30 a.m. doing this, but finishing touches were given in the morning. On the side note, the birthday cards had arrived the previous evening. Around 7 a.m., Baba got out of bed to come to the dining room. Mani played the happy birthday record as they walked there, holding Mehera's hand, as he walked there, holding Mehera's hand, while the other women followed. When Baba was seated, they sang happy birthday to him. Baba smiled and admired everything. Mani read out the birthday cards and telegrams. The women moved things away and made space on the table for Baba to have tea and breakfast, and they ate with him. The birthday cake was usually sent from Pune, from either Gulnar or Gaimai. One year, the cake had a single candle in the middle, signifying God is one. Other years, 7 candles were placed on the cake, and the side note says, Baba did not blow out the candles, but let them burn for a few minutes before one of the women extinguished them. They wanted Baba to have a little bit of cake, but Baba usually said, not just now, later on. Some years he did accept, and there's a side note there. There was a certain period when Baba was very fond of sponge cake, but that phase lasted only for a few months. So back to that place where we read. Yeah. So some years he did accept it. Rava, a sweet dish made from wheat, was always cooked that day, as it was one of Baba's favorites. After breakfast, the men returned to the house to escort Baba to the hall again. In March, the weather turned warm, and there's an asterisk there. Baba took the women to Kushru quarters on 6 March 1960 to witness the Darshan program to witness a darshan program there to almost 9,000 persons. Goher had been sent 3 days in advance to make sure that the arrangements for the women were suitable. So, in March, the weather turned warm. On 14 March, Mani wrote to Irene, "This evening there was such a lovely moonrise. It made such a picture from Baba's window. Baba called us all to see it. Lately, Mehera and we all have taken to having our supper by moonlight in the garden and watching the stars through the champa tree." Mehera always had a very close affinity for the moon, Mehera related. From her window, whenever she saw the full moon rising above the nearby hills, silhouetting the temple on top, she would call us, wanting us to share in the joy and admire the scene too. We often gazed at the full moon and tried to see Baba's face in it. In the right conditions, we saw Baba's profile looking northwards. It was so exciting to watch, and she always remembered how one late evening Baba called her and asked to his room and pointed to his window for us to look at the moon, the beautiful colored orb of the harvest moon. That day, watching it with Baba, the moon seemed more beautiful than usual, and Mehera always remembered the episode. Baba left for Guru Prasad on Sunday, 20 March at 8 a.m. with the women Mandali. That year, they traveled in a new car, a large blue DeSoto, which Nariman and Arnavas had given Baba for his birthday. Baba liked the car and found it comfortable. No railway overbridge was at the Ahmednagar station then. More than once, the railway crossing was closed for the train, and they had to wait there. "When are they going to open the gates?" Baba asked impatiently, his fingers moving rapidly. He was eager to be off. It became warm, with the sun beating down on the roof of their car, and of course the car was not air-conditioned. Baba was seated in the back seat by the window, Mehera in the middle, and Mani by the other window. So it says on the side note, before starting for Pune, Baba always asked Meru which side of the car he should sit on to avoid the sun. Baba sat by the window whenever he traveled to Pune, on whichever side was not sunny. They carried food with them, and Mehera served Baba, unwrapping a snack of an omelette and chapati usually. Soon after we crossed the railway lines, 2 or 3 minutes later, Baba would want his food. As their car with Baba in it whizzed past people walking on the road or working in the fields, or past those traveling in other cars, Mani would think how fortunate they were, because Baba was seeing them as he looked out. His gaze fell on them. Even that fleeting glance from him to those in another car was significant, she noted. How fortunate they were, even though unknowingly. On the road from Merazat to Ahmednagar, opposite a Sikh temple is a tomb. Baba always bowed to this tomb, though he never mentioned whether the soul buried there was a perfect master. Every time they passed it, Baba folded his hand and bowed. Sometimes the women would be in the midst of discussing something as they passed, but Baba always remembered, stopped what was happening, and bowed, even though Mani and the others had forgotten about it. On the road to Pune, halfway to Supa, is a hill with the tomb of another saint named Mastan Shah. The steep hill is far from the road, but once Baba had stayed there for seclusion work. The early Mandali recounted how they had to climb it daily to carry up food and water. Once, on the way to Guru Prasad, as they passed the Shiva temple at Wagoli, on the outskirts of Pune associated with Dhanyaneshwar, Mehera asked Baba about this perfect master. She had heard a story of a man who came to challenge Dhanyaneshwar riding a tiger. Mehera asked whether it was true, and Baba told her it was. Mani, however, felt that Baba was only saying this to please Mehera. And the side note says, Baba always bowed his head when passing this temple, where it is said this incident occurred. Yogis can live for 1,000 years by controlling their breath, Baba also stated. Life is equal to so many breaths, so by controlling the breath, one can extend one's life. About Dhanyaneshwar, Tukaram, and the Mass, Baba commented, these names don't go on living for no reason. These names don't go on living for no reason. These individuals had to go through fire. That's why their names live on. It is not easy. Baba resided at Guru Prasad for the next 3 months. From then on, throughout the 1960s, this became the pattern, at least 3 months during the summer in Guru Prasad and the rest of the year at Meherazad. Again in 1960, Baba allowed darshan every Sunday. Some of the women followers who came were permitted inside to visit Mehera. Musical programs at Guru Prasad were special occasions. Chairs for the women mandali were lined up by the entrance to their bedroom, from which they could watch the program without being seen. So I have to read that again. Musical programs at Guru Prasad were special occasions. Chairs for the women mandali were lined up by the entrance to their bedroom, from which they could watch the program without being seen. Baba was always impatient for the singer to start right away, although Indian singers invariably warm up for quite a while first. During the beginning of the program, Baba was talkative, looking at the mandali and turning to the women. He seemed to have a good voice, don't you think? He would comment in Gujarati, which the singer did not understand. And the side note says Baba gestured what he wished to convey, and if the gestures were translated, the translation was done in Gujarati. Or if Baba needed to spell a word, he spelled it in Gujarati, not in English. They had a secret language between them. They say he has a good voice. Let's see. Do you think he does? Said Mehera. Baba was looking at the singer. Is he going to start? When will he start? When at last he began, Baba was very attentive. He sat up in his chair, listening intently, deciding if the voice was good. He would make up his mind. Does he like that voice? If he did, then he settled down and relaxed to listen, gesturing to us, very good. I told you that he was good. The women could see Baba from their vantage point. I can still see Baba at Guru Prasad, seated in the drawing room, Mehera continued. Hundreds had come. They were overflowing out onto the veranda. Baba was at the end of the hall, seated in a chair. I didn't look around at the crowd, only if someone pointed out that Baba likes this singer very much. Baba would turn to me and ask, did you hear it? How good it was? It was so sweet of Baba to always remember me. And the side note says, Jagjivan Ram rose in stature, but he never became prime minister. So probably it has to do with the next paragraph.
Probably.
During Qawwali programs, Baba could understand the High Persian or Urdu phrases. Mehera would not, but she was pleased to see that Baba was enjoying it. Baba at times told the singer to repeat a line or two, and he would pay close attention. He liked it very much. He explained the meaning of the song to us. Though Baba appreciated the words, the voice was first. The singer must have a good voice. Baba loved Piau Kawal, who had a very strong expressive voice, and also Jai Puri Kawal. He didn't usually like music without words, but once a musician came who played the Shehani, Shenai so expertly that Baba really liked it, even though it was only instrumental music. Once a young Ahmednagar singer sang a song in which these memorable lines are sung to the beloved. I think the side note, should we read it or shall we wait? On 24th.
Yeah, go ahead. It may be too soon, but that's okay. We can come back to it again if
On
necessary.
24 March and 4 May 1960, Baba sent the women to garland and bow down at Baba Jan's tomb. They also visited Bindra House several times. On 5 May, they went boating at Boon Gardens with Nargis Dadachanji and Rhoda Mistry. So once a young Ahmednagar singer sang a song in which these memorable lines are sung to the beloved. You are the world in which I live. My whole world is you. Mehera liked it so much, she never forgot it. Sorry. Jag Jivan Ram, a prominent Indian political figure of the time, came for Baba's darshan on 4th June. Mehera remembered seeing him. At lunch, Mani made a joke about the politician's rotund, unsightly appearance. That night, Bauji, too, joked to Baba that Jagjivan Ram should enter a beauty contest since he was so handsome, quote unquote. So now this is the first one. So if you go up, yeah, so the other one, yeah. Jagjivan Ram rose in stature, but he never became prime minister. So now let's go down, yeah. One day, he will be the Prime Minister of India, Baba remarked, but he didn't become. While at Guru Prasad that year, Baba visited the homes of his Pune lovers. Mehera and the other women never accompanied him on these visits, but they did go for drives and to see films such as Ben Hur with Charleston Heston. And that is what he said before when we read on March 24 and May 4th, 1960, Baba sent the women to garland and bow down at Baba Jan's tomb. They also visited Bindra House several times. On 5th May, they went boating at Boon Gardens with Nargis Dadachanji and Rhoda Mistry. Okay. Baba and all returned to Meherazad on 20 June, where he began a 6-month seclusion. There's a side note. Khorshid came with them to Meherazad, where she stayed for 10 days. She was permitted to come again for a week on 23rd August. On the 30th, the Parsi New Year of Papeti was celebrated. At breakfast, when the women turned on the Baba radio so Baba could listen to some music, Begin the Begin was played. Baba worked again with Kaikobad and also fasted. The men and women Mandali fasted with him on certain days. On 13th September, Baba announced, from October 5th for 7 days, October 11 inclusive, I shall fast only on water and sherbet. Mehera will fast on 5th and 11 October on water and sherbet along with me. From the 5th, Erut will fast for 7 days on water and sherbet, along with me, from the 5th through the 10th. All men and women Mandali at Meherazad will eat only once a day, with tea or coffee twice a day. On 11 October, all residing at Meherazad will fast on water and sherbet along with me. The fasting took its toll on Baba's health, but worst of all was in October, when Baba contracted herpes zoster, shingles. Wow. Probably, Goher speculated, from recently bowing down to the poor. It was a horrible affliction that only subsided after a month and a half. Baba was very ill after the second accident, said Goher. When he fasted, he wouldn't take any nutrition like soups or milk. Then he contracted herpes all over his face and throat. Wow. I had to give him injections of antibiotics. He was all blisters, so weak. I always felt nervous about his condition and wanted to call in others to consult. Don Padri came. When Baba's had herpes, he was on a fast of only water for 7 days. The entire right side of his face was blistered. I was afraid the eye and ear would be affected. The inside of his tongue and throat were blistered. Wow. He could not swallow and ran a high fever. In spite of this, Baba would go to the mandali and cleaned up all the blisters. We cleaned up all the blisters and bandaged it. Baba never rested like an ordinary person when he was ill. He always came to the mandali to do his usual work. And the side note says, Goher was especially worried that the infection might affect the ophthalmic nerve and possibly blind Baba. The seriousness of Baba's condition can be seen by Goher's brief medical diary entry. 7 October, pain intense, swallowing difficult, cannot open mouth. 8 October, condition worse. 9 October, no improvement. 10 October, swelling on the right side of face increases. 13 October, screwing type of pain, RT ear,
That's
right
the
ear,
right ear. Oh, yeah, you got it.
deafness. 19 October, throat ulcers versus painful,
Probably very painful.
very painful. Did not sleep at all. 21 October, agonizing pain inside the right ear and also the throat. Wow. 28 October, facial paralysis increasing.
So that
Yeah.
was the 28th. Wow, that was from the 8th to the 28th, 20 days.
Wow. Terrible, terrible. Oh, Baba.
Oh, it's the devil.
Yeah, wow. Where is it? When Baba had herpes, he was in fast, yeah. I was afraid that the eye and ear would be affected. The inside of his tongue and throat were blistered. He could not swallow and ran a high fever. In spite of this, Baba would go to the mandali. We cleaned up all the blisters and bandaged it. Baba never rested like an ordinary person. When he was ill, he always came to the mandali to do his usual work. We felt that Baba should take some nourishment. Mera felt that he should have proper nourishment when he was so seriously ill. So she asked me what we should do. Mera requested him to take at least buttermilk or sin semolina, something liquid, but at the same time nourishing. Baba did not consent immediately, but did after 2 or 3 days. The pain from the herpes became so intense that on 30 October, Nariman brought the neurosurgeon from Bombay named Ram Gind. Gind recommended injecting alcohol to deaden the nerve. Recalled Baba developed herpes blisters on the tongue and tonsil areas. Well, Goed had heard of Gind, so he was called to treat Baba. He arrived and was a very busy man. He asked me where he could piddle, as he had not had a chance to relieve himself. Then he went to wash his hands and began telling me that most people in India don't know how to wash their hands properly. I was anxious for him to see Baba, as Baba was suffering. Ginde went to Baba in his bedroom, examined him, and said it would be necessary to have an x-ray done. So Ginde could insert this needle and deaden the nerve that was causing problems. Baba said, no, do what you have to do here. Ginde was horrified. How is it possible? It would be like a blind man doing it. Gind was respectful of Baba. Baba said to do it, and Gind finally agreed. He looked up to see if the room was clean. He took all kinds of measurements and instructed Baba to tell him when he felt any sensation to his tongue. Without anesthesia and making no sound, Baba bore it all in silence, Goer noted. Ginde stuck this long needle in Baba's skull. Baba said, no, no, then yes. He felt some sensation. Ginde told Baba to raise his hand to indicate that the spot was reached. Then Ginde put some alcohol through the needle to deaden the nerve. Baba asked how long it would last, as now the pain was gone. Ginde said it was permanent. He left, but as soon as he left, the pain returned, more than it was before, more than it was before the alcohol injection. A few days later, it went away by itself. Baba, of course, underwent such torment for a multitude of his own reasons. One of them, perhaps, was in order to contact Ram Ginde, who became one of his most dedicated lovers. In subsequent years, Ginde would rush to be with Baba whenever Baba called him, no matter how busy he was in Bombay. And a side note, fortunately, Baba did not have any scars or discoloration of the skin, as can happen in some cases of shingles. I'm willing to read on, but anyone else want to read?
I can read for a while.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're going to look at the photos here. This is Arnavas.
And
Arnavas and Nariman Dadachanji, Bombay Airport, before departing on a European holiday, July 1951, courtesy Beloved Archives.
How beautiful she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a beauty.
She is.
Yeah. She has always had such a wonderful smile.
Yeah, and very, very majestic.
Mm. Oh. The kids are so cute in this picture. Najot ceremony, Guru's Prasad, 16 May 1960. Rhoda and Merwan Mystery. Arnavas. See, Arnavas is smiling. He's got one of these smiles. Sarosh and Falu Mystery.
Which one is Arnavas?
Arnavas, I don't know. It might be the one in the center, but she doesn't look like Arnavas. Rhoda is on the left.
Mm-hmm. She has a huge smile. You're right. It doesn't actually look like Arnavas, but perhaps it is.
Rhoda, Mystery, Arnavas, and who is the third lady? The one on the right.
Nargis.
Oh, Nargis. Nargis. That's it. They're all sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Nargis.
And then
Nageswari.
way over to the right, you see Mehera, Rano, Khorshid,
Mani.
Mani, watching
Yeah.
from their bedroom.
Yeah, right. And you see that girl with covered her head on the left, Soprano,
Yeah.
and she's the Sata family. She's the one who has a problem with her nerves, and you see her in Baba's Darshan where she looks up to him. She's Tam Kerala, Roshan's sister. She's Roshan's sister.
Yeah, I don't really think.
Dystrophy. All the family had
Oh, yes,
dystrophy.
yes. I understand who you mean. Way over. She's not in
Yeah.
she's in the main room there. Yep, that you're right. But I thought you meant the woman behind Mehera and Rano, and I was thinking, I can't see her face.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is. But I don't see Khorshid in that picture.
Yeah, Khorshid is behind Mani and Rano. Between their two heads, you see the lady in the back of them with the white hair. That's Khorshid. Between Mani, in the back of Mani and Rano, between them in their back is Khorshid. And to Rano's left, Rano's right actually is Mehera. Our left is Mehera.
Yeah. I don't recognize it as Khorshid, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. I recognize. I recognize her. Yeah, but
And of
This
course,
late,
Baba way
what?
over on the right.
Yeah, Baba, darling Baba.
and this lady in the middle, do you see my pointer?
That is Roshan's sister with a dystrophy because they all had dystrophy,
Oh,
and the only one who didn't have dystrophy was Roshan, and she took care of her all her life until she got married, and I think even after she got married, until she came to Pune to be with in Bindra House.
she seems to have very good posture.
She loved Baba so much. She was saintly. Baba loved her so much.
Oh, are we ready to go on, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Strictly Confidential, chapter 130. Oh, by the way, it's 3:43. How much more do you want to read?
Well, we could stop now. We had a long session last week. Do you want to stop now? But there's still this picture to examine, isn't there?
Yeah, let's do the picture. Yeah, with Gohair, Guru Prasad, 1960s. Wow, look at that place.
Yeah.
Wonder why they took it down.
Well, someone told me that when it was suggested to Baba that they save Guru Prasad, he made a gesture around his neck, indicating that it would be a weight around their neck to upkeep it, to keep it
Yeah,
up.
financially. Yeah. And also they offered him only the house and not the grounds.
Oh,
So they said also, the house without the grounds is not the same, and yes, it would be too costly to upkeep.
yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I love I love the grounds, don't you? Of people, of places.
Yeah.
You you love the outside. You're an outside person.
When
Absolutely.
we were stayed at Yupon Dunes once for a week, and it was in the outside in the yard that I felt Baba's presence, not so much in the house.
Interesting. Yeah.
You can do. Oh yeah. I see. Where Elizabeth had the house, where her parents' house was.
Yeah.
I'm an inside person. Yeah, the Sufis bought that. Yeah, it was offered by the way, having selling the Guru Prasad. The Sufis, it was offered first to the center to buy. The person who heard about the sale was a Baba lover, and he wrote quickly to the center that it was on sale and they could buy it, and they didn't have the interest or ability or money or whatever. Same, I think, as Guru Prasad. They had enough trouble of the upkeep of Myrtle Beach, which is only on subsidies, only on volunteer money.